Hello there. My name is Annie Diamond, and just want to tell you a little bit about the Spirituality in Academic Life course and cohort. The first thing I want to say is that it's a 10-week course that I have been crafting for a while now, and 10 weeks is not enough. My understanding of spirituality in academic life and my questions about it, the way that they're integrated and reinforcing of one another, has been a long time interest. I am currently a PhD student in practical theology. I have a couple other master's degrees along the way, so I've been a postgraduate for a while. And in this time, I've encountered so many other postgraduate students, and I've encountered them at lots of different kinds of universities. And it's a really, at times, grief-filled experience to encounter postgraduate students at the end of their degrees. We academics come into new fall semesters or new programs with such curiosity, interest, hope in the ways that will be formed. And the thing about academic institutions is that most of the formation is on the surface intellectual formation, except that we bring our bodies and we bring our hearts and we bring our souls right on into those spaces. And so actually there's quite a lot of formation that's being exerted in those spaces that we may or may not have known that we signed up for. We come pretty vulnerably into these spaces where there is also an added pressure to achieve and to achieve under certain kinds of parameters and requirements. And so besides the disorientation that can often happen when we move to a new country or city to study something that we may or may not have studied in depth before, we also come with an identity which we bring into our work and that we often submit for reformation in the community of academic life. And so some of us think about that, but many of us don't, and there's not a lot of spaces for us to think together about the ways that our narratives have brought us into the academic context, and that the ways that those narratives get confronted, challenged, changed, formed anew in that context. And so this course is about helping us see what kinds of postures we come into the academic world with, and how those postures change intentionally or unintentionally, and the ways that those postures exert so much influence on what it is that we produce, not just in our work, but also in who we become. So this course is about getting clear about how that's happening already, and what kind of agency we have in that process, because a lot of times students don't really feel like agents in their process of study. It's like the academic world devours, and we sort of play along with that as if that's just a normal part of the experience. It is normal, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't mean that it's easy to resist certain kinds of narratives or certain kinds of postures, but that's why we do this sort of work together. Because actually, it's only, in my opinion, better narratives and better postures that help us to fight and resist those sorts of soul-crushing narratives that often energize the academic life and pursuit. So we have to get clear about that, because actually there's no way to sort of take up these stances within academic life powerfully without some sense of awareness and clarity and agency about how and why we're posturing ourselves in the ways that we are. And actually, for most of us, that goes, we do that without a sense of why we're doing that. And so that's so much a part of this course as well, to get really clear about why we're posturing ourselves in the way that we are. So this is my great love. This is my research area. This is so important to me as someone who both loves the academic enterprise and its possibilities, and who also is deeply formed by and committed to my particular faith, my Christian faith. And so it's important to me, and has been important to me, to be able to put my faith and spirituality in conversation with my academic life. And it's important for me to be able to facilitate that for other people as well, to get clearer and clearer about the ways that we're making choices even when we don't know we are. Choices that are so heavily informed by the imaginations and the inheritances that we've received before we even write a single paper. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm really excited about the possibility of doing this work in community together. I hope that the cost is manageable. If you have any issues with the cost, please talk to me about that. I would want this to be accessible to all people. And yeah, I look forward to doing this work together.